This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Let's get ourselves in the mood.
This is Deal or No Deal. And here's your host, Grant Denyer.
Grant Denyer.
Grant Denyer, good morning.
Hey, Natalie, Shaun and Ryan.
Woo!
Well done. And actually, when that plays, you run out with so much energy, and you just have to psych yourself up backstage. Yeah, here we go.
Okay. Welcome to the Natalie, Shaun and Russ Show. Hi, everyone. Hi, my name's Grant Denyer, much better than Tom Gleeson. Welcome to Tom Gleeson's favourite game show, Deal or No Deal.
Well done.
Grant, you do a bloody good job. We all agree that, mate, you're one of the best. And I'm looking forward to your show, actually, Deal or No Deal, going for another hour and a half, because this new show on Channel 10 might take a hiatus after the first couple of days. And Grant...
So that'll just be Deal or No Deal for an hour and a half, 3x back to back.
Yep.
What do you reckon?
Okay, this time we're going to open 75 cases, everyone.
Right, they put you in a bit of a tough spot with that one. Did you feel like, maybe I'll just text the bloke, the project gang, and be like, hey, none of my decisions here. Hope all's going well. I will just be popping in.
It's a brutal old landscape television. I've certainly been on the receiving end of some pretty tough calls over the years. So it's one of those things where, look, we were happy in our little 6 p.m. time slot. We amassed, a lot of young families and kids and people who were kind of bolted on to that time slot. But sometimes these things are out of your hands, and the idea to move to 7 p.m. will put us in front of, the chance to be more eyeballs and grow the show a little further. But, you never want it to be at the expense of anything else.
Yeah. No, of course.
It's a decision that's not mine. But what an era. Like that. They changed the game for news and how it was delivered. So, for that many years, was it 16 years, I think it was?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, they did an amazing job. But you do an incredible job too, Grant, every time you run out there.
You're very good.
Yeah.
How's your fitness? How's your pre-game? How's your pre-season leading into this season?
Oh, dude, I've been doing that many squats. You should see my gear. It is.
The badonkadonka's looking amazing.
I am packing so much at the back end at the moment. It's looking glorious.
Serena Williams.
Every shot of mine on Insta is just all from behind at the moment. Just G-bangers.
As it should be.
G-bangers against trees, G-bangers against fence posts, G-bangers against whatever you want.
Can you drop it like it's hot?
Can he?
Oh, hell yeah. I go low. Shorty gets low. And I've got those Adam bottom jeans on, mate. Look
the Daisy Dukes as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Loves it.
You've got a lower centre of gravity, so it does help.
Yeah, I don't know why my international basketball career never really took off.
You can't be good at everything. That's not fair.
No, rule out high jump in the Olympics as well.
Yeah.
That's a no-go for me.
Limbo. You'd be great at limbo.
Motorsport was a safe home for me.
Well, it wasn't. You broke your back. You broke your back.
There was that. Okay, thanks for the reminder. That was a beautiful moment in history. That's my darkest moment in my life.
Yeah.
But,
Thanks for bringing it up, Nat.
You know what? I learned the other day, and this is a little bit of wisdom that I wasn't prepared to unveil on this show, because I know that you guys like to talk about things like boobs and farts. But you know what I realised the other day? The key to healing all your trauma is, and I don't want to discount what other people's trauma might be.
Sure.
Yep.
But someone told me this, and I tell you what, it's powerful if you think about it. You need to learn to love the one thing in your life that you wish never had happened.
That is wise, actually. That's really wise.
Well, normally, Grant, that's where the growth comes from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you saying at 5'5"? There clearly hasn't been a lot of growth.
Growth as a human being, to deal with the things that have been holding you back, and deal with the situation that was at hand.
That's deep.
Adversity.
Yeah, buddy.
Resilience.
Yeah, you're right, because I think if you can if you can review and look at that moment in whatever the trauma of that moment was in your life differently, and see maybe any glimpses of something that happened that led to something positive out of that, then you are no longer bound by the chains that hold you down.
Oh,
Man,
my
you
God.
are, put it on a poster,
Captain,
Grant
my captain.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Yes, it is a Sunday morning on a Friday. Sunday Ariang in the house, of course.
And you're going for a record 11 wins in a row.
You sure are. It's
Are you
exciting.
in autopilot, do you think, at the moment?
Do you know, I don't even think we're in autopilot. I think our training sessions have been so good, so purposeful that like each week we're like just growing and growing. So I think when you have growth, you're just unstoppable.
Does Dan go off his face every now and then just to keep you on your toes?
I don't know. Maybe if you look over to the bench, you can see him kind of scratching his head and screaming at us. But no, he's good. He's just very clear and direct with his feedback and stuff. So you just know what you need to do.
Failures feedback, they say now. Tell your friends.
They say by they you mean you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you were telling us off air that some of my defensive work has been adopted by the coach.
Well, I wouldn't say all of it, but I think Shaun might have called Dan and told him a bit about defence. But yeah, that side defence thing that you were talking about a couple of weeks ago actually worked, and Dan said that we should try it.
But only when there's two defenders
only
defending
two, yeah.
the ball.
And you shouldn't have told him that.
We workshopped it. We workshopped it.
Shouldn't have told him that.
Yeah.
He's going to give you
I know.
a lot
I
more
regret
advice.
it. I regret it now.
It's a big mistake.
Sunday, taking on the Giants this week. Do you know where do they stand in terms of consistency through the year? Have they been a bit off and on?
Their consistency probably hasn't been there throughout the whole season, but I think these last couple of weeks they've been on fire.
The Casey Kapua
yeah,
effect. So
yeah.
they got back a 40-year-old from New Zealand.
But when we spoke about that a little while ago, Caitlin was a bit like, what are you doing?
Well, Caitlin was of the opinion that maybe they should have sort of...
Put a young person in.
Yes, that's right. Elevated a young talent rather than bringing a retired player. She hadn't played for 6 years or something.
No, she hadn't played for 6 years,
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
And she's been on fire. She's
she has
doing
been on
really
fire.
well.
And
Yeah.
I think she's been great for the team, especially that defensive line. Like she's going
to be lining up against Janelle.
Yeah, good luck to Janelle Hayner. Good luck to her.
I mean, tough assignment, obviously. The toughest.
It
some
will
might
be very
say.
tough. But,
Yeah.
No, they've done well in the last couple of weeks, which is good for them.
Yeah.
Only a couple of games to go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
two more. And both at home, which is great.
At home, yes. We're
As we
always
head into
super
the
excited.
finals. And outright leaders, because the Swifts are starting to stumble a bit. That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know about that. But no, I think we're just happy with our performances and just being able to be consistent for these last couple of games. So, yeah.
I know you're taking game by game, but when you look ahead to where the grand final is going to be played, which is going to be Adelaide because they were able to buy the rights to have the game here, are you a bit disappointed that the...
Melbourne?
Oh, sorry. Have got Netball Australia.
We'll
went
edit
down
that
the
out, Sean. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry.
What was that, sorry?
Netball Australia went down the tact of selling the rights to the grand final to a state.
You know, it would be great to be able to play in your home game after, winning that top two matchup.
Yeah.
But I guess it's to build the
It is what
sport,
it is,
and it is, exactly. It's like probably what's best for the sport at the moment.
Yeah.
So
It's like the AFL grand final.
Yeah, when the more you think about it, it doesn't make any sense that four
It's like
teams
Super
get to
Bowl.
play a whole game, a home ground. That's their home ground, so
Yes.
they get in the grand final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just playing at home.
Yeah.
It's pretty stupid.
Yeah,
isn't
the
it?
Super Bowl, that happens too, every now and then.
Well, every now and then, but at least it's moved around.
Yeah.
If it's your lucky draw, you're a chance to play at home, but otherwise.
Hey, the Giants this Sunday has got the potential to have the highest crowd there. Make sure you get along, westcoastfever.com.au. They're going to potentially break the highest attendance record. There's a lot of fun. I mean, you guys play well, but also there's fun on and off the court, right, Sunday?
yeah, it's actually super fun. Like every now and then when I peek up at the scoreboard, you can just see some dads dancing.
Yeah,
some
dads
daisies
dancing.
in the
Not Sean,
in
he
the
didn't
air.
make the cut, even though he filmed
Yeah,
it.
so that segment, the Dancing Dads, is sponsored by Nova. And before the season, remember when we came to your media day and Sean had to be filmed dancing as a dancing dad, and it was so bad that they don't even use it.
How
They saw the
bad?
dance skills and they're like, nah, we don't want it.
I
We
want
were
to
trying to
see.
encourage them to dance,
That
not
is
put
so
them
funny.
off it.
You should see me try to dance bad.
Well, apparently no one wants to.
That was me at my best, Ross. I still didn't make the cut.
Your
That's what I'm
best.
saying.
Dad dancing, you can't do it wrong. So I don't know. Were you gyrating or something?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, was it not family appropriate? Is
Yeah,
that
that
part
could
of the
be it.
problem?
Yeah, that sounds
It's
like
too many pelvic thrusts.
Possibly.
It's probably doing too much.
Hey, Sunday, the collective bargaining agreement allowing you only to sign a couple of year contract with any one team. Do you guys as a Players Association constantly talk about that and seeing if it can be adjusted? And would you be happy to stay on, say, for the West Coast Fever for 3 years and or 5 years type of scenario?
Yeah, I think with the Players Association and the Netball Australia, I think they're really trying to work on where they can get in that space. It would be great to be able to sign for multiple years, not just the 3 or 2, like actually having like an extension when it comes to your contract. But it's definitely something that they are working on, and hopefully sometime soon we'll be able to see see that change.
Because if you end up playing for another team, all will turn on you, just so you know.
Please don't.
We will. Yep.
Ruth, your sister, she snapped her Achilles tendon. How is her progress? How's she coming along?
Yeah, her progress is looking really great. She's actually out of the boot at home now, so she's walking around. She's got her shoes on 24/7 and just slowly crawling around the house.
So she's more mobile.
She's more mobile.
Getting out of that moon boot must be amazing.
Yeah, and she's just she just looks so much happier. She's enjoying it. She's coming in and around training. Everything looks good with her. So happy for her.
Okay, good.
Well, good luck to the West Coast Fever this weekend, and good luck to you Sunday, because you've been on fire. And mate, continue.
Thanks, Shaun.
Great work, Sunday. See how that season. Break the record on Sunday. Get along, everybody.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
Good news, everybody. Emma Memma is bringing Dance Island Party to PCEC at the Riverside Theatre on Monday. She joins us now. Emma, hello.
Hello, how are you guys?
Oh, we're great, Em.
You headed back to Perth. We're pretty excited about that.
We are pretty excited. It's taken us a bit of time to come back, but we've been very much embraced by WA. We've been able to do our MMM tour, we did the telethon, and we did the Christmas parade last year. Blast.
Yeah, a lot of fans in Perth here, including my 5-year-old Oliver. What's the most common fan question you get from first, kids, and then second, the parents?
Oh, that's a great question.
Thank you.
I think the number one question from children is, are you coming home to my place? I get that a lot. Are we going home together?
Okay, so it's the same from the parents as well.
Sometimes I think parents are like, can you look after my child for a second? But most of the time from parents, it's either how many costumes I've got or where are my dogs and why are they not on the tour?
Of course.
The big questions, actually. Talk to us about your dogs. What have you got?
I've got 4 noodles and poodles, I call them.
Oh, really?
And I've just put them outside for this interview so they don't interrupt.
So, Emma, that's amazing.
So now I have to ask, what do you do with them when you're away?
My beautiful mum takes care of them. Yeah, when they don't want to be friends with them, but then when they're there, they don't want to give them back. We're at that angle.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, that's my mum and dad every time.
Yeah.
But my dad wouldn't have had it any other way.
No, that's right. Yeah, they pretend they don't like it, but they secretly love it.
Hey, Em, having you perform in front of all the kids like you get to do and all the families as well, is it just a great opportunity for you personally just to let loose a bit? And I think as adults sometimes we don't do that for maybe thinking that people think we're an idiot or being silly, but you get to do that and have fun.
Oh, totally. I mean, I think adults overall, we're much more reserved than children.
Yeah.
And so that's why our shows are so raucous, for want of a better word. But, it's fantastic to be part of a children's audience where they can just let loose and be themselves, express themselves however they want. And, most of the children sing and dance along. And then really my job is to encourage the parents to also let go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Now, so we know what Emma Memma does on stage, but you've also got this TV show coming that we think is brilliant.
This is brilliant.
So it's called Teenage Boss Next Level. It's where, and it's on the ABC. It kicks off on the 25th of July, so a little bit of time to wait. But run us through the premise of this because it's so good.
Teenage Boss really is about giving teenagers the family finances for a whole month. And I guess for some people that feels like a short time. Sometimes it feels long, but really for the families undergoing this challenge, it's a long time.
Oh, Emma, this just resonates me.
Because they think money grows on trees, literally, or that it's just a plastic card and that pays for everything and there's no repercussions and nobody actually has to foot the bill.
I'm an ATM. I'm literally a walking ATM and my kids just coming for me left, right and centre. And I always say that kind of stuff. And this would be brilliant. First of all, if they were in charge of the finances, day one, they'd spend all the money and then we're cooked because we wouldn't be able to eat.
Yes.
But this is a great way of
for them to realise what's actually happening in their household finances.
I mean, why this is not a school experiment, I don't know. But I get in trouble. I get in trouble from the whole Department of Education of all of Australia for saying that. But I guess, seeing it play itself out, and I think, with the show, last series, we filmed the whole series in Adelaide. This series, we filmed the whole series in Tasmania. So maybe Western Australia's next. But, being able to be with the families the whole way through the month and see how it affects the whole family, not just the teen, but the teen's realization of that, the fact that money doesn't grow on trees is really interesting to watch in real time.
So, and the parents obviously lose their power in this situation. So they can't make any decisions. Can they even advise the kids?
I mean, they can try, but you know what children are like.
Yeah.
They're the boss.
God, this is great.
Did you come across any financial tips and tricks that you saw these teenagers using or not to do? What not to do?
Oh, I saw a lot of what not to do. Overall, I think the teenagers are pretty thrifty. And I think being at their age, between about 15 and 17 years old, they're really looking for lateral ways to save money. So by putting their own family to work, I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Everybody gets a side hustle. Come on.
Yeah. I always find it's interesting because my kids and my family, they're very thrifty with their money, but not
with your money.
Yeah.
It's always a joy, Emma. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. See you guys soon.
Bye.
Thanks, Em.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
Well, our favourite person in the world is in the studio, Jordan Clark.
Yep.
Well, he's coming off the back of kicking a goal for us on the weekend. Yeah, the weight of the nation, the Nova Nation, on his shoulders.
Yes, the expectation and to actually do what we'd asked you to do just shows how scared you are of us, basically, Jordan Clark.
I had actually a shot earlier in the game and I
Yes.
butchered it. And I thought, there's my opportunity. It's gone. So,
Yeah, because you don't, you're not a forward, so you don't get that many opportunities.
No, they come, once every probably at this rate. I've kicked 2 this year in 14 games, so every 7 weeks.
Yeah.
But no, I
So he threw up the Nova N for us, and now we're
Got worldwide acclaim.
Yeah, no, it's been a tough week. Flooded the inbox with everyone.
So
And
some people thought it was the Starlight, some knew it was Nova. What else did people think it was?
gang sign got thrown around a bit.
Yeah. We checked that, though, remember? We checked that.
Have a look at me.
Boys or something.
Yeah. I just said, have a look at me. It's certainly not a gang sign. But no, it was, the S for Starlight got thrown around a little bit, but I suppose we can throw that in there as well for a good cause. So
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, great cause, but that's not what it was.
No.
We just want to clear that up. We want to clear that up. It is a great cause. It's not what was happening there. But we've just been talking about it all week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I've been watching my goal all week too.
I mean, it was 50-metre penalty.
Okay, what was the best part about? Did you get it flush? I mean, it seemed flush.
I got a 50-metre penalty, and I actually thought the umpire might not have taken me the full 50.
Yeah.
Oh, you thought you were a bit shortchanged,
I thought it was about
Didn't need
40,
it.
45. And, but in your head it plays a big difference where you're 5 metres closer. You relax a bit more and go, I don't have to kick the skin off this. But no, I had to reset. I was I caught myself thinking about the celebration before I even kicked the goal.
Yeah.
But,
Stay in the moment.
We got in your head.
but no, I actually, in all honesty, just went back and just
Slotted it.
followed my little routine and poked it through the big ones.
Okay, what is your routine?
It's to get back far enough off the mark. Just
Yes.
plain judgment. There's no measurement.
Plain judgment. Okay, yep, right.
Get momentum. I usually take about 3 steps of decent momentum before I kick the ball, but my last one's just my ball drop. Make sure your ball drop's good.
Yeah.
Stay my head over the ball. Always lean
Do you
back.
mouth guard in and out?
Yep.
Do you do that?
No, that stays in. Yeah. Yep. Just purely because I miss more than I don't, so I don't have time to put it back in.
Hey, Geordie, my 5-year-old's a big Dockers fan, just has kind of converted to the Dockers, and this is him chanting. We saw you for his first game. He has a question for you.
Right.
When that Jordan guy comes in the studio, got any questions you want to ask him?
Dockers player?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
What do you want to know?
How does he do big kicks? Did he practice his kicks at his handball league?
Did you practice your kicks in your
And
hand?
also, what do you think of the giant squid? He's got a big
Yeah, he loves
Yeah.
colossal
Squid.
squids. Let's stick with the... How do you do big kicks, firstly?
Big kicks. Well,
It's all about the ball drop, right?
Yeah, it's about the ball drop. It's actually, funnily enough, your dad will tell you this from a young age. It's not about trying to kick it too hard. It's about timing. But, as a young fella, you're sort of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Dad,
Yeah.
What would you know? But
Just
it's true.
chucking on the boot.
Yeah. But no, just when I was little, I was always outside. Like, I was notorious for getting in trouble at school, for not doing my homework, not doing any schoolwork, because I was always outside playing footy or cricket with my brothers. But my dad worked at Peel Thunder for a large part of my life when I was little.
So in and around footy
so
clubs
I just-
anyway. Yeah.
Every day after school, I was down there running around with the the footy players and just kicking the footy. So
you do practice? Is it? Yes, is the answer.
The answer.
Yeah. Find a way.
Do you, as a kid, did you used to, run, go, oh, the siren's gone and we're 2 points down and I've got to kick this to win? Did you ever run those scenarios?
Yeah, at times. Like when I was a young player, pretty much up until I got drafted, I was never wanted to be a defender.
Yeah, right. Because you want the glory. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's exactly right. But when I was really little, I used to pretend I was Hayden Ballantyne. Just
annoying people.
Staring everyone up, getting in fights.
That was your ambition, was to be like Hayden Ballantyne.
Yeah, and if my brothers weren't out there, then I was wrestling myself. I don't know how that works.
Pinching yourself and
Mate,
elbowing yourself in the kidneys.
Yeah, nah. It's funny. Obviously, I played a little bit of footy with a couple of his brothers as well in Mandurah. So
yeah, of course.
At the time, I was like, how good's Hayden Ballantyne? But would have hated to play on him, I reckon.
No, that's right.
Oh, yeah. One of the successes to Fremantle in 2013 when they played in the grand final and the year before and the 2 years afterwards, which were prelim finals, like they were hardest team to beat, is because the two most hated people in the AFL was Hayden Ballantyne and Ryan Crowley, and they're both in the same
team. Yeah.
And you need people like that.
Yeah, without
a hard-nosed outfit.
Yeah, 100% without a doubt. They are very good role players too. They were never like, the blokes that probably won all the accolades, but, they played their roles and they were very important, arguably probably the most two important roles in the team.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Joel Creasy with us. Now, Joel, yesterday you teased the fact that you, on the holidays, we're about to have a couple of weeks off, I'm going to Turkey, Shaun's going to Bali. You're going to Bali first, but then you're going from Bali straight to Cape Town.
Yeah, I'm going to Bali to have a brief dalliance with Shaun, and then I'm off to Cape Town. So when I got engaged last year in September, on the flight over, we got engaged in Italy. On the flight over, I watched a whole bunch of documentaries about animal poaching, and I got really into... Well, no, I should say anti-animal poaching. I got really into it. I got really, I'm a Trump. I got really passionate about anti-animal poaching.
Yes.
So a week into the trip, Jack proposed to me. I was so shocked. And there's like 4 friends with us, and he gets down on one knee, and I'm still not clued into what's happening. I'm like, oh, kinky.
He's just doing his shoelace up.
Yeah, I know. I was like, when in Rome, quite literally. And he proposed to me, and when he got to the word marry, I think I screamed, yes, and like forced the ring onto my finger like Gollum.
Yes.
And then I went silent for an hour. And then the first thing that came out of my mouth, an hour post proposal, because these animal documentaries had sat with me for so long, I literally said, we have to save the elephants. And I'm a man of my word.
Sure.
So in 2 weeks, I'm going to Cape Town to adopt an elephant with this eco-venturist called Paul Gardner. I'm going all around helping, volunteering with the elephants. I'm washing them. I get to sleep with a baby elephant one night.
Wow.
Not the first time.
Is there consent?
Yeah. Well, someone said, what if they roll onto you? I'm like, they're only 90 to 120 kilos. That's not that much more than Jack. And I am so excited. I've not been to that part of South Africa before, and I love the Ellies. I think I'm going to call her Elifaba. Wicked.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you get naming rights.
Yes.
Oh, I guess because you're adopting it, you get naming rights.
It's my daughter, Nat. So
sorry.
back off, please. Oh my gosh, it's like the schoolyard already. I'm very excited. I cannot wait.
What a great time! That is amazing. That is amazing.
That's one of those incredible experiences that you just go, what? How is this happening to me?
So you're going to be washing an elephant with a broomstick. Where you see them, don't you? Those big.
I was taking all my Mecca products. Is that not
drunk elephant? Yeah.
There is a brand called Drunk Elephant. I should take that.
Yeah.
I cannot
Bit
wait.
Of a serum.
I'm going to. Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll do face masks and watch and just like that. And yeah, I love all things African animals. I'm very Hakuna Matata, Circle of Life.
Yeah, and you did I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where you were in the jungle in Africa, right?
I did back when it was hard. I did it back when it was hard. Back when it was 6 weeks. I did the very first season when they didn't realise they had to feed us and have us do stuff.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we just lay around and lost weight. And I got into arguments with Murph Hughes over whether or not you can chop someone's head off with a machete. I was against that. You'll be shocked to hear.
You're against it, but it is possible.
But it was great TV, and I was happy to be involved.
Well, that's awesome, Joel.
Yeah.
What? Anybody else going over there with you to be a part of this?
Nah. Just me. I think it's going to be good for me because I normally like to be with people. I get a bit nervous, but it's just me and this eco-venturous legend, Paul.
Who is this guy?
He's this South African philanthropist.
Oh.
And I think I could just see.
How did he find you?
I've been telling that story about the engagement on stage.
Yes.
And I think he went, oh, well, that aligns. We've got the elephants with the elephant sanctuary, and yeah, Bob's your uncle or whatever they say. Off I go because the N and the O are broken on my keyboard, so I say yes to everything.
Oh, yeah, right. Perfect. And here you are. It pays off.
Yeah, I know. So
can't wait to hear about it.
Good.
Well, I really want them to take me out with the anti-poachers so I can, really, take one down.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
With a machete, obviously.
Yeah, how do you think, obviously, Merv Hughes taught me well. How do you think that'll go down with Nova if I come back and I'm like, I took out a few poachers, but I saved a few elephants and
Well,
rhinos.
as long as you put their heads on the wall, like most wild...
That'd be nice. Yeah, in one of the boss's office. Yeah.
The two
like
beats.
all former employees.
Oh, well, we can't wait to get the lowdown on exactly what happens. We wish you and your newly adopted elephant daughter all the best.
Thank you. I will pass on your love to Ellie, but I imagine you're knitting something for her right now as her aunt. Yeah,
yes,
thank you very much.
You did a time crocheting there for a while,
Yeah, I
didn't
did.
you?
Well, when Ellie was pregnant, she said, can you crochet me a hat? And I said, yes, for the baby. And I said, yes, I can.
Okay,
so
now
I
we've got
did.
another
I
one.
just followed a YouTube video.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
Joel, I came across this story yesterday and I thought this would be right up your alley, actually. And it's to do with hypnotherapy. Settle in.
Yes, please, go.
Okay, so there's a chick over in Sydney and she's like forever hooking up with bad boys and they're not working out for her, Natalie. You know the theory.
Oh, yeah.
You guys?
Everybody knows somebody that is like this too. And it's like, no, stop it.
Because I get the lure of it. It is exciting.
I know.
You're also the person like, I can change them. I can fix them.
That's a really good point. So it says about bad boys in here, by the way, they have the women in their life have a sense of conquering a bad boy, feeds the grandiose fantasy of uniqueness.
Oh, that's not nice.
They're horrible to everyone except me.
Did
I
they
can change
interview
these
Megan?
people. Woo! Jeez, I hope she's not listening. What time's
she's
Pilates?
bottling honey.
I've got to remember what time's Pilates start. Anyway, she decided, righto, this is what I'm doing. Hypnotherapy. This is going to work for me.
Okay.
And she spent thousands of dollars with a hypnotherapist, convincing her and laying her on the sofa and talking to her about hooking up with
more appropriate men, men that treat her properly and with respect and dignity.
Yeah, so she
gross.
She did it for a couple of months.
And what happened?
As soon as she said, "Righto, I've got the black belt in hypnotherapy now. It's worked for me."
Green flags only.
One night out on the town, boom, she's with a bad boy. Again.
Oh, what a waste!
She's spewing dinner dough.
Oh, no.
Incidentally, in the comments part, which is really funny, and I like the way that they describe bad boys as their uniqueness and the fannies having somebody who's unique from everybody else.
They're not unique. They're
also,
literally a dime a dozen.
Yeah, I know. And of course, bad boys get described that way. But if it was about a woman, it would be so awful the way the description was. Yeah.
That's a really good point. So one lady decided in the comments to jump in here and she's lost her loved one. She says, you should be looking for someone faithful, kind and safe. She's married to a good guy for 40 years until he passed away. Look for an engineer. They are faithful and dependable. Give them a go. All you need to do is give them a feed and a good boop every now and then. That's it. An engineer.
No.
I like the idea of an engineer, but Nat jumped in so quickly with no, as if you've maybe got a story.
Well, first of all, my brother's an engineer and I wouldn't want to be married to him for starters. Right. But when, like at uni, the engineers are always the absolute nightmares on campus. They're always running amok, the hardest drinkers, the worst men. Yes, at least in my time. And so you go, I don't know that that's necessarily. I think that lady obviously found a good one and well done to her. But I don't think you can cast the same thing across similarly, any group of people, you can't say just because there's one good one or one bad one, they're all like that.
Oh, Nat, very balanced. And that's
Very
what I love
balanced.
about working with
Have
you.
you had hypnotherapy, Joel?
I have had hypnotherapy. I went to a lovely lady named Trish in Fitzroy in Melbourne. She was about 70 years old, and she would pop me on the couch. She'd sit in a chair, and I'd go under, and she was hypnotising me to. She'd never had this before, to sleep on my back. Because,
what? You asked for that. You asked for that.
Well, because I'm a stomach sleeper and I've got really bad scoliosis and it's terrible for me. And my chiro, my osteo, and everyone's like, you need to sleep on your back. So when I went in, I said, hey, can you hypnotise me to sleep on my back? And she was like, no,
was ever asked for that before?
No, had that one
you
before.
You didn't want to try sleeping on your side as a transition?
I've tried that. It's too, I just don't sleep. So I also asked her if she can teach me how to reverse parallel. But the best thing about hypnotherapy is if you don't go under, you're just lying there receiving compliments about yourself. Yeah. You're great, Joel. You're not terrible. You can reverse park that car. You can sleep on your back.
And can you? Did it work?
Nope.
No. Okay, so I had hypnotherapy too, Joel.
Okay.
And I went to a lovely lady here in Subiaco, and she hypnotised me to be better at cleaning the house.
Oh, my God.
And I reckon it did work. It's one of those things that I think you would need to have it topped up because I am no longer good at cleaning the house.
Yeah.
But there was a period
Oh, yes, I get
where
it.
where I was actually tidier. Because I'm somebody that just like leaves things lying around, and when you live on your own, you can't be bothered. So it doesn't matter.
I don't have to impress anybody.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm not. And if it's I know it's mine. Like if somebody else came into my house and did that, I'd be annoyed because I don't want to look at your mess because it's mine. I'm fully responsible for it. I know it's up to me. So, but yeah, she did. It did work in the short term. I think had I had top-up sessions, I would remain a good housekeeper. But
so
I didn't.
You're not going for a refill. You're not going to top up your credit.
No, I don't care.
You're just paying the hypnotherapist to come around and clean.
No, I mean, why not cut out the middleman?
Well, let's talk about this. Hypnotherapy. Now, we've got a couple of great examples from Nat and Joel. Have you been to hypnotherapy? Have you spent a whole heap of money? What was it for?
Yes, and did it work? Did you notice a big difference?
Yeah, I know I've heard Diet Coke and stuff. That really works. And cigarettes.
Yes.
Cigarettes.
I reckon there'd be merit in somebody hypnotising you to want to go to the gym because it's not actually going, it's the wanting to go that's the problem. Like because you get the voices in your head that's like, oh, you can't be bothered, you're very tired. And whereas
something on the telly.
If that was taken away, you'd just do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Joel Creas's joined us this morning.
Loving it.
Hypnotherapy. A girl in Sydney got hypnotherapy to get her to keep away from the bad boys when she's out on the hunt. And it didn't work, as it turns out.
Cost her thousands of dollars. Didn't work. She's spewing.
Joel's had hypnotherapy to stop him sleeping on his stomach.
And help me reverse parallel. It's more the confidence thing, you know.
I get it.
I lack confidence. And I also find reverse parkers a little bit arrogant.
If they could drive into it.
Yeah, I bet you both reverse park.
I don't reverse into a regular parking spot. Like if I don't have to. Sean does. I don't because you can just reverse out. That's fine.
You're so
but I am
uppity.
an excellent parallel parker.
Oh,
I know, I don't want to talk myself up, but one time I had a car full of people and I reverse parked in front of a venue where people were queued out the front and nailed it. And the only reason the spot was there is nobody else wanted to take it on.
Yeah, that is baller.
There was like 50 people standing there waiting, and then people I got tips of the hat when I got out. Like, that was really nicely done. Thank you. Thank
that
you.
is rock and roll.
I know before everybody had sensors all over their cars as well. So I don't want to go on about it. That's amazing talent. We are talking about hypnotherapy though. Peter, hello.
Hi, how you going?
Oh, good. Have you been hypnotised? What happened?
I have. So 4 years ago, I decided I wanted to give up booze because I loved the wine with the girl.
Tell me about it, sister.
It worked straight away. She hypnotised me, and as soon as I left there, I did not want another drink again.
So, just like that. If you go out with the girls and they're having a couple of wines, what do you feel inside?
Absolutely. I do not want a drink at all. I feel nothing, absolutely nothing about wanting to have a drink.
Is this one session of hypnotherapy?
I had one session and left there, and I went 2 weeks later just for a quick top-up. But seriously, after that first one, I did not want a wine. I could not believe it myself.
Yeah, she's gone straight onto the gins now. So
Yeah. She's gone to the hard stuff.
Well, that's amazing. That's an amazing result.
I love the top up, and that's exactly what you need in that.
Yeah,
for
that's
the cleaning.
right. That's
just
right.
a quick top up, and away we go.
I've got a lot more time on my hands by not doing the cleaning, to be honest.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, true. Every cloud.
Silver linings, exactly. Thanks, Peter. Erin, hello.
Hello.
All right, Erin, have you been hypnotised? What was it for?
I have. So I was a smoker from about 12 years old to 35 years old.
Okay. Yep.
Why did you start so late?
Okay, Patty and Selma.
Well, when I say that was my first time I tried a cigarette.
Right. And then it was a pack a day from there on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Grade 9 English is tough. I get it.
Getting about $35 a packet, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Coffee lives.
So I went to a lady in Subiaco and I just had one session and she trained me or hypnotised me to feel sick when I want a cigarette.
Oh, yes. I have heard of that.
Yes.
So I walked out of there feeling great. I threw the cigarettes that I had out, but I was probably about 6 months later, I had a few wines and I was like, give me a drag. And I took a drag and I immediately threw up on my friend's foot.
Oh, wow.
And then even it's been like almost 8 years now. And the other night I went out and my sister was smoking. And I was like, can I have a drag? And she gave it to me. And I took a drag and I was like, oh, that felt good. And then literally ran to the garden and just threw up everywhere. So it's still working.
Amazing.
I never had any top up.
Incredible. And you're not on the mango lush ice or anything now?
No. Stay away from that.
Good on you. That's incredible.
Good one.
Mango lush.
Superpower.
Is that a flavour? I don't know.
I don't know. Sounds like it should be. Thanks, Erin. We're going to finish with Carly from Hillary's. Morning, Carly.
Morning.
Okay. Did you get some hypnotherapy, Carly? What happened?
I did. I had it to give birth.
Oh.
Okay, talk you
so
through it
presumably without pain relief, is that what? Because you were going to give birth regardless, yeah?
Correct.
Oh, so you were pregnant. Okay.
Yes, I was pregnant.
Yeah, okay. I'm following now.
I really wanted to give birth naturally, and I thought one of my obstetricians said that there was another obstetrician that did hypnotherapy. So I went to him with weeks leading up to the birth and listened to some CDs.
Yeah.
And then it was trained that some of the nurses already were trained in it at the hospital at Glengarry, so it was local.
Yes.
And so every time also my husband would touch me on my shoulder, I would relax. So
that was perfect for him.
Gosh, I was
like, isn't he brilliant?
I'm a hero.
Can you send me the number of this person, Carly?
No, I'll go with you.
Carly, my wife did the same thing, and I had to read to. I forgot about this, but I had to read to her like every night for a while, so she'd get in the zone. And then she listened to stuff, and I had to touch her shoulder as well to relax. No, it was her forehead. Her forehead. That's what it was. So I had to touch her forehead. How did you go during the actual birth? She did extremely well.
Yeah, I did very, very well. And then I was worried the second time because I hadn't listened to my CDs.
She was the
but
same.
fully touch my shoulder again and second time pop it out. It was great.
And so if you're not in labour and your husband touches your shoulder, do you relax?
No.
No. So it only works if you're in labour.
Very niche.
I don't know. I must say I don't know. I've never really thought
about it.
Thought about it.
Or has he not touched you since?
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
The big Mavalenko is in the house, Matthew Pavlich.
I heard you. We were preparing for the game. That just reminded me.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
I didn't get a response. I didn't hear I got a response.
What happened?
We were preparing for the game last Sunday. The
Freo St Kilda.
Thank you for reminding me. And Channel 7 in one box, Fox in the other, and our doors are often open, so we sort of come in and have a bit of it. Yeah. Well, but we open door policy.
You boo each other in the background.
7 do, but we don't. We're friendly.
Yeah, when they go low, you go high. Yep,
correct. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so we're preparing. We've sort of got the headsets on. We're doing this meeting, and all I hear is and it's sort of like Mavalenko. So it's this guy's walking past. There can only be one person. S. McManus.
You know where that is.
Nice to hear you again.
Hey, you got a bit of a shout out, so I'm just going to jump in here. Sonny Walters. Yeah. I mean, the end of a glittering career. He's been an incredible player, but he still cites you as the greatest he's ever played with.
Is that right? I think he was it Nat Fyfe as well, or I mean maybe myself. I don't know. Look, he mentioned a couple, but yeah,
I know.
I have. You know.
It's you, mate.
Oh,
It's you.
thanks, Sean. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Bloody hell, mate.
I love playing with Sonny. And so Sonny's a rascal, right? And I've got a couple of good stories about Sonny. But on the field, it was like he and I, because we played a lot in the forward line together, and he was so gifted and talented, he could think ahead of where the game was going, so he could tap it in the right spot. He'd kick it before I'd lead. And yeah, I felt like I had a really strong connection with him out the field. It's funny how you have those connections.
It's tough to explain, isn't it?
Yeah, and just that chemistry of, I could see him about to mark, and so I'd start to move in a position. It's just, and you have those special connections with players. But yeah, he was such a gifted player, naturally gifted, but he had to earn it, and he really did, because he was sent back to the Waffle in 2012.
It's the Jeremy McGovern story all over again, isn't it? They had a similar experience where their coach said, "Nah, you're not up to standard. Back you go."
He's got a great relationship with Ross Lyon, and I'd just finished that year when Sonny got drafted, and I'm not sure if he did a shout out. I don't think he did yesterday. Mentioned Steve Grace, who was a development coach at the time. He's gone on to go work at Collingwood and Western Bulldogs. He's out of the game at the moment, but he put a lot of time into Sonny. Sonny was under his tutelage.
Yep.
And Ross, we were going to meetings, and Ross just said, "Nah, he is gone." And Jason Weber was our strength and conditioning coach.
Well, we'd been working with Jace and Sophie Porter, the dietitian, and we've been working with Sonny for probably 2 or 3 years, to a point where trying to educate, trying to help, hold his hand through a lot of these situations. Leadership group, Michael Johnson and a number of others were trying really hard, because we could see the talent he possessed, but it was like he wasn't, the penny hadn't dropped. And then I vividly remember the meeting. Ross came into one of the leadership group's meetings, and we were talking about a number of things, and he said, "All right, Sonny, well, I think we need to send him back to the Waffle, teach him a lesson." And it was a bit of a, whoa, this is solid.
Because it didn't happen very often. It was a rare occurrence, wasn't it? Yeah.
But he said, until, it sounds as though even because this was before, Ross had said, it seems like there's 2 or 3 years here where you guys have tried really, really hard to make him better and help him. He needs to be taught a lesson effectively. And so ripped the Band-Aid off, away he went. And to his credit, and this is why, I think everyone
it's a fork in the road, isn't it? It's going to go either way. Yeah.
Not only for his career, but for his life. It was, and Marnie came into his life at that point, which was really critical as well. His beautiful wife, and then the 3 girls, the kids. But I think for him, it was like, okay, I need to fight my way back here. And he did. He fought his way back, got into the team, I think about around 16 or 17.
Yeah.
And it was like a 3 or 4 month banishment from being allowed at the club at all.
So he wasn't allowed to train with you or anything. It was like you're not a part of this team. Yeah.
Swanee D's were great.
Steve Grace would drive out and watch him play. Ross had nothing, wouldn't have anything to do with him. Behind closed doors, Ross was always wanting to know.
Yes.
So he would call Jason Weber in just about every selection Thursday or whatever day it was.
Where's he at?
And he'd go, where's he at? Where's his skin folds at? Oh, not quite there. Oh, he'd swear.
Yeah.
Right, I go out next week, same thing. Where's he at? And he got close and boom, get him in.
Yeah, and we played Melbourne.
And he never looked back.
Played Melbourne at Marvel. We were on a pretty decent run. We beat Marvel. He came on. He sort of started on the bench a little bit, came on and off, and then kicked a couple of nice goals. And and then for the next 13 years until yesterday when he never looked back. So
that's
it's
amazing,
a great story.
isn't it?
And then becomes an enormous influence on Indigenous youth. But I said to him, it's not just Indigenous youth you've had an impact on. It's everybody in the community.
Agreed.
Because what a positive influence you've been.
Yeah, and I think it's just a great story of perseverance is the first thing. So for young kids out there who don't get drafted or who aren't necessary, or just in life in general, who might miss out on a job opportunity or who might have to work their backsides off to get that.
It doesn't
chance.
always come easy.
And McGovern's the other one that you talk about, Sonny Walters. But he's a rascal. Did you ever go on that camp down to sort of Hamlin Bay or Augusta?
No, we had a guy in just the other day that we spoke to, and he was in the SAS, but I didn't ask him if he was on that camp because I know.
I mean, we did a number of SAS.
I was here. And I couldn't come.
Well, you're probably glad we didn't because it was brutal. So it was one of those ones where the directing staff, the SAS, came into the club covertly and almost sort of stopped training, and we all came in and they said, you got this mission, you have to be here by 10 a.m. on Sunday, we're all driving down, here's your teams, here's what you have to do, here's a list of things you're not allowed to bring, here's a list of things you have to bring. So we're with Sonny Walters, and it's a Sunday morning that we have to meet at the club, and then we all drive down together as a small team. So you were broken up into groups of, say, it might have been 8 or so. And anyway, we get down to Hamlin Bay, and you have to strip down to your jocks, and you have to take everything out of
Not a good start.
of your bag, and the directing staff are just yelling at you, and
Yes,
it's chaos.
it's like
right?
on
So-
SAS Australia. where
yeah,
they're
they go.
screaming
And so
at you.
anyway, we're down in our shocks. Everything's off: the socks, the shoes, the sleeping bag, the pillow, the toothbrush. Everything's out in terms of, and most of our team we had Chris Scott actually, believe it or not, in our team. A number of others had, to the letter of the law, just brought down everything. Sonny, well. It's safe to say Sonny had about 6 items of the 20 and about 16 items that he wasn't supposed to bring in his bag. So
Did he get the list reversed?
So we were in trouble. So it's like punishments. You got 1,000 push-ups, 20 squats, whatever it might be. Anyway, the next morning, so everyone's, and there was no phones. You weren't allowed to bring a phone.
Oh, absolutely not.
The next morning, we're all in little tents together, and it's a beautiful, crisp morning, no wind around, and all we hear is this bzzz, bzzz.
Oh, no. He brought his phone.
And what is that? Well, where's that coming from? And his phone was going off. Somehow, not only did he sneak it in, but he got away with sneaking it in when everyone was trying to. Yeah. And we were absolutely petrified because we knew this was
because you're all
going
to pay the price of it.
What's going on? Who's got that? And sorry, boys, that's me. So we went and found it, and before the directing staff somehow got it. But unfortunately, we had to go and do all these push-ups and punishments. But he's a rascal, Sonny, and but a wonderful player.
But does he still take credit for your magnificent physique?
Yeah, correct. Well, yeah, and so this is the thing. We had to do these push-ups, and we were circled up at 3 a.m. in the morning after being on this hike. And the directing staff, Joe, came over and said, "Okay, well, this is for the phone, this is for the punishment." So we're circling up, and we had to do these push-ups, and you had to go. I can't remember how many it was, but it was like 30, right? And you had to do push up. And say disciplined, united, elite, and then
that's the values of the team.
And then Sean would say 2, disciplined, united, elite. And then Nat would say discipline. And then it got to Chris Scott. I think he was so fatigued he lost count.
And then you have to start again.
No, so he was supposed to say 6, but he sort of went 12, discipline, and everyone was like, "Oh God, we're cooked here. We are going to." And I was next in line, so I just thought I'm going to take the bull by the horns here, and I went 13.
Like Pav wouldn't lie to us. Pav wouldn't lie to us. Oh, too good.
No, those things
Magical.
are always great.
Yep.
It wasn't fun though, I tell you. But yes, well done, Sonny. Great career, and you're right, a great role model for everyone.
Yeah,
no
for
doubt
sure.
about it, Pav.
And just quickly, the Dockers in Sydney this weekend on the cow paddock.
Eagles tonight as well against Jet. Why the hell the AFL are crossing over games? It's unfortunate because the Collingwood-Carlton game, huge game in Melbourne, crosses over here, but it'll have a huge local audience, Eagles playing the Giants, and I reckon the Eagles might fancy themselves.
I think they're going to push this game right to the limit. The one that intrigues me this week, out of all, it's top 9 teams versus bottom 9 teams. There is no question that Sydney aren't that far behind being in the top 8, in my opinion.
Yep.
That is that's the hardest game of the weekend. And Freo got
I think it's the best game. It shapes as the best game because you're right. Sydney are trending in the right direction.
Yep.
All their metrics have changed from the first sort of half a dozen weeks of the season. They probably should have beaten the Bulldogs last week, really. The Bulldogs went out last night and absolutely torched the Kangaroos in the end. So, challenging game. Can they make it 7 in a row, the Dockers? I think they're due, and I think the Swans are heading in the right direction. I hope they can win. We'll be there, actually.
Yeah.
So, hopefully they can get the victory.
Good luck, mate.
All right, nice. Thanks, Pav.
Good on you guys.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.